What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Sunday night FanDuel mock draft live stream. I'm your host, Simon, here as always. You know what? We're reunited. It's been a little while. JL's been in Hawaii, but the fantasy boys, Josh and JL, so glad you guys are here today.
So happy to be back. So happy. This is where I belong. This is where I feel best. Is on stream with you guys.
It was easy jamming out, to that because I knew you were here, JL. That intro music, I was
just naturally feeling that groove.
Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. Let's go.
That baseline. FanDuel, just top tier baseline you got in that intro song.
Great job.
I owe you right there. I listen to that as I'm falling asleep every night.
I like to think Craig FanDuel wrote that himself.
Yeah, me too.
He did.
And played it.
We got Craig in the chat who's going to be mock drafting with us and is in here saying, man, the speed of these short best ball drafts always scares me. Can we ask Daddy FanDuel to lengthen his timer? Mm-hmm. We can ask him, but Daddy doesn't always lengthen his timer for us. But yeah, that 30 on the note of what Craig said, that 30-second timer can be difficult. You definitely need to think ahead on your picks. Don't wait until it's your pick.
Try streaming and
start
drafting.
thinking. Yeah, it's
fun. We literally have 30 seconds to pick when you're streaming and doing this. Like, everyone else, they're looking through it. They're like, oh, I know this guy. I'm lining up this guy. If this guy's here, I'll probably go this guy. No, I'm just like, okay. Okay, he's there. Who's on my team again?
We got Jordan in the chat ready for the show. Said, I feel best when talking to Josh.
I was talking to Jordan right before the show. Jordan, love you, buddy. Let's talk.
Jordan's a great guy.
It's always
good. Mr. Scampers, what's up? He said, hi, everyone. JL! Yeah, JL. And we got Dame in the chat saying hi. What's up, Dame? Dame and Scampers will both be drafting with us tonight as well, I believe.
Dame looked like she was having a blast at the LA live draft at Trophy Smack headquarters. And all I can say is that I'm very jealous. I'm very jealous because it looked like a lot of fun. Scott Fish flew out there for that, but probably not my wedding. So there's that.
There's that. Well, are you gonna have a pool table at your wedding, JL?
Probably.
Are you going to invite Scott Fish to your wedding, JL?
Probably.
Because that's probably a big determination of whether
he flies out or not.
And Jordan, you're saying, JL, I couldn't root for anybody for a solid 2 weeks.
That is true. That is
100% true.
Yeah,
Marty,
we didn't have anyone rooting for you, JL, for some reason.
No one.
Gone. It was weird.
No one. I was in the chat most of the time.
I know.
What's up, Marty? Welcome in. He said, sup, my dude.
69, Marty.
Welcome in, Marty.
Let's go.
Guys, today we are going to be doing an 8-person best ball draft here on the FanDuel website. Ooh. Before we get into that, it's going to start promptly at 7:16 p.m. Eastern time. I'm not going to say 7:15 because the 60-second timer will kick off at 7:15, telling us there's a minute till we start drafting. So promptly at 7:16, this draft will begin. But before we get into that, a couple reminders. Guys, if you enjoy this content, if you're enjoying what we're doing here, if you think Josh is really handsome with just enchanting eyes, give him a look at those pretty blues.
I just trimmed my beard today.
Oh, man.
Doesn't look
forget
too bad.
us.
Did I hit that line?
Josh is handsome. Hit that like button on the video.
It's so straight. It's beautiful.
It's great for the straight line on the beard. Make sure you subscribe to FanDuel. They're on YouTube at FanDuel. And then after you do that, they have accounts on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. They're at FanDuel across all of those platforms. So make sure you go and subscribe over there. Nobody is quite as handsome as Josh, but they've got a great team of content creators helping you guys win some money and win your leagues.
And if you subscribe, you'll get to see us next week when we do the same exact stream. And I believe we'll be joined by the one and only JJ Zacharyson. So there's no other reason to subscribe. Might as well subscribe. Oh, did I not tell you guys that?
No, you just dropped that news on me. JJ's not drafting with us next week, JL.
Tentatively, yeah.
Tentatively?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, even if you're lying, that's a great way to get people to come back.
Yeah.
And the week after, Matthew Berry will be drafting with us.
Shoot, now I got to make that happen.
He's actually he's joining the Front Yard Fantasy team.
Oh my God! Stop making it bigger.
All right.
We got Craig in the chat saying we need a wedding live stream where we can donate honeymoon money.
We talked about it because most of our team will most likely be there, so might as well live stream.
Get invited.
That would be fun. Justin, what's up? Welcome. And he said, "Yo, guys, mock season indeed."
Mock season.
And these mock drafts are fun, right? Because there's a little bit of extra skin in the game. We're not just mock drafting. These are actual best ball leagues that are going to play out. So we've got people here. We'll be able to keep track of the winners. Yeah, this is more than just a mock draft. We're going to be able to track these throughout the season. And while very related to redraft, right, a lot of the strategies come into play. There is a little bit of that extra strategy or different strategy whenever it comes to these best ball leagues as opposed to redraft leagues. JL, Josh and I did an 8-man one last week. But you were not here for that. I think the one that you and I did was a 10-man one, right?
12 or 10, yeah.
12 or 10. I can't remember what it was. But this 8-man one, it changes it up a little bit. And Josh and I discussed, not at length, but the most of the 15 minutes before the draft started last time on how the league size changes your draft strategy. And I'm curious what you have to add on that front. Like, what are the biggest changes for you in your mind, since this is an 8-man league as opposed to
I think
12-man league?
Most fantasy formats, your strategy is going to completely depend upon the size of your league, the number of people you're playing against. Yeah, you're playing a game that's based off strategy. It's based off how these NFL players perform, but more importantly, you're playing a game against other people, right? And that absolutely
7 others specifically.
7 others here. And so this absolutely changes your strategy. With a smaller league size, you're going to want to really focus on those onesie positions. I'm sure you guys touched on that last week. That's going to be a big focus is trying to lock up a differentiator at those onesie positions. I'm talking QB, talking tight end, primarily tight end, because
I'm glad you said that, JL.
I was gonna say it
because I'm usually with you, Josh. I'm usually the one clarifying.
I was going to say you're right, but I specifically really want to focus on tight end over the quarterback a little bit, because the quarterback's so deep still. It's still so deep.
Think about it.
Yeah, I agree. You still want a great quarterback, though.
You still want a great quarterback, but there's 8 people in this league. So there's 8 people are going to take quarterbacks. There are more than 8 really good quarterbacks in the NFL. There's a lot of great quarterbacks. Tight end, there's not 8 great tight ends in the NFL for fantasy. 3. There's like 3. So that specifically you're going to want to lock up. But also at the QB position, you certainly want to get a differentiator if you can. But yeah, I prioritize that almost always less than tight end in these situations, like Josh said.
Jill, I think the line I settled on, because Josh challenged me on this last week and made me think through it, and like the logic I settled on for quarterbacks was
usually you and me fighting.
It's not that I'm willing to overdraft them in this format, but I'm a lot more willing to accept value that falls to me. So like if Josh Allen is sitting there in the 5th or 6th round in an 8-man league, value. I'm probably jumping on it. Whereas in a 12-man league, I'm probably still continuing to wait on quarterback. Whereas here, I'll take the value at quarterback if it falls, if it's fallen pretty far.
I like that. I like that distinction.
Real fast. Since it's an 8-man league, like in a 12-man league, for instance, I'm probably going to focus on either tight end or quarterback. I don't want to grab both, because then that really limits me at the other positions, the running back and wide receiver, that I really want to build up. However, in an 8-man league, there's still going to be value laid at both the wide receiver and running back position compared to a 12-man league a lot more.
I love these drafts.
So I would be more willing to grab a quarterback and a tight end a little bit early, not too early. I don't want to force the issue, but if the value's there, the 8-man league is the one I'm going to do it in.
Yeah,
for sure.
There we go.
Yeah, we don't want to be giving up value at the other positions.
No, we got some people in here ready to draft.
Chris from Dallas
with all the W's. What's up, Chris? How's
Dallas?
And we had Jordan in here saying, right as we started talking about it, 8 people leagues scare me. And then Mr. Scamper said 18 leagues with 30-second clocks is wild.
Yeah.
Gets back to your picks soon. And then Maria said 8 people together scare me. That's true. That's a lot. That's a lot.
All in one place.
7 or less.
You're afraid of groups.
Any group. Yeah.
There's a name
Jordan,
for that.
18 leagues with Mr. Scampers scare him. I don't know if it's just Mr. Scampers or cats in general. Like if there's 8 teams and one team is a cat. Yeah, come on, Jordan.
8 cats in a room scare me.
Oh God, that would terrify me.
It's a little scary. I like cats.
It's like when I go to the animal shelter and I go into the cat room and there's like just cats running around everywhere.
And they're all scheming.
I'm never comfortable. Like I like each of you individually, but like there's 12 other cats that I'm not paying attention to right now. And like
I don't
trust you guys. I don't know what the hell you guys are doing. And cats are sneaky.
They are sneaky, but I like it. You got to earn their love a little bit more,
earn their love,
so
it's worth it.
Like that about cats.
It's always my Oma's argument why she likes cats. She says a dog will love anybody, but a cat, you have to earn its love.
But dogs super love you. Like dogs, they love everybody, but they don't super love everybody.
I'm not so sure if a cat was capable. There's quite a few out of there I'm sure would probably murder me. So
for sure. I love that you have that thought in your head.
Just a little bit bigger. If cats were just a little bit bigger, I know there would be a lot more cat murders out there.
Cat murders.
It would go down.
I love reading the theories where people have put together legitimate evidence of humans didn't domesticate cats domesticated humans to take care of them and feed them. It wasn't there's reasonable proof to support that it was cats that decided to live with people, not people
Daddy
who said we're
FanDuel's
going
going
to
to
let
text
cats
me,
live
please
with
stop
us.
talking about cats.
No more cat
the love
talk.
of
No,
God.
This is the important stuff. But
Sunday
along those
night,
lines of
mock drafts
cats,
and cats.
I have a question, Simon, just because like I know there were reports recently that are saying like Chris Godwin could be ready for week 1. I don't want to talk about Chris Godwin specifically. I want to talk about Mike Evans. Right now, we're drafting Mike Evans pretty darn early. Like in best ball formats, he's around the wide receiver 8, you know, in redraft, he's probably right around there as well. And I love Mike Evans for this upcoming season. If Chris Godwin starts week 1, Simon, I know you're probably the highest on Mike Evans out of anyone in this stream right now. Do you lower Mike Evans at all?
He probably swaps places with CeeDee Lamb for me if Chris Godwin starts week 1. Like, I'm not moving him down a lot, but him and CeeDee Lamb are neck and neck at like 5 and 6 in my rankings. I probably flip it just because Chris Godwin's there. One, this Tampa Bay offense can support both Chris Godwin and Mike Evans. I'm not concerned about that. His upside definitely goes up without Chris Godwin there. And then the other big thing is, even if Chris Godwin is ready for week 1, I think it would be so irresponsible of the Buccaneers to throw him out there in a full capacity at the beginning of the season. I
hear that, Bucks? Simon will judge you.
I would judge you out there. Well, I mean, it doesn't make sense.
It matters.
They can probably get through those first 4 or 5 weeks with a limited Chris Godwin and have him for the stretch of the season.
Scotty Miller still there?
Makes sense.
They got Russell Gage.
They got
Russell Gage now. Yeah, of course.
I think they do still have Scotty Miller, though, if I remember correctly. I remember hearing trade.
Tyler Johnson's still there?
Yeah, Tyler Johnson's still there. Yeah. But there's really not much after Russell Gage there.
Yeah.
But I'm with you, Simon. He doesn't necessarily what you're saying, it sounds like, is he's not moving tiers, but he moves down in his respective.
Exactly.
He loses the boost that he got for Godwin being presumably out in the beginning of the season, right? Like, we know what Mike Evans is. And I think he goes back right to where we expect him to be, which is what he's been.
Okay. A wide receiver 1. He'll get you 1,000 yards and probably the safest bet to hit 10 touchdowns in the league. Or one of them, maybe not the safest bet, but he's up there. When we have that conversation.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of someone that does safer bet to have 10 touchdowns.
Maybe Cooper Kupp.
Jamar Chase, like Justin Jefferson, maybe. Adam Thielen, just because he's Adam touchdown Thielen.
Yeah.
Travis Henry. Derrick Henry's going to get 10 touchdowns, not receiving touchdowns.
Not receiving. No, but he's up there in that conversation. So I'm not hyper concerned. It doesn't make me bump him down a ton. Now, I'll probably be drafting a little bit less of him because his ADP is now like part of the allure of Mike Evans earlier this offseason was he was a like borderline top 5 wide receiver for me, top 5 kind of guy. And I was able to draft him around wide receiver 12 to 15. Now he's going as a top 5 wide receiver in a lot of leagues, like getting drafted in that 5 to 7 range. And that makes it harder. Makes it harder to draft him.
Makes it much harder.
It does. I'll tell you right now, real fast for me. If he doesn't get moved down, I won't have any Mike Evans if Chris Godwin is ready week 1. If he plays at all in the preseason, which I agree, Simon, it would be dumb to do. But if he does, then I'm just not drafting Mike Evans at cost. I like Mike Evans a lot still. But.
Yeah,
absolutely. And guys, this draft is about to start. We've got 10 seconds until it kicks off. And what I'm realizing is we should probably run through a little bit about what this format is. So this is going to be half PPR, 8 teams, obviously going on in here. And then on top of that, your starting roster is going to consist of 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end, and 2 flex. A flex can be running back, wide receiver, tight end. So it is a 1 quarterback league. 30-second pick timer, 3 wide receiver, 2 running back, 1 tight end, double flex, half PPR scoring.
Who the heck is Rock flexing?
Rock. So
you're on the clock.
Who is in this that we know? So Dame, I see you. Jordan, I see Craig, and I am on the clock.
See Scampers.
What do I want
Jonathan
to do
Taylor, number 1 off the board.
Wow, big surprise.
I'm very excited to see. I bet I could guess. Just from our previous conversation, Simon. Let's see.
Simon.
I guessed wrong, but Travis Kelce wasn't going to be there. Your next pick, I bet that.
Yeah, I'd probably maybe a little bit higher. Like I would have rather have the 5th or 6th pick and drafted Travis Kelce, but I have no problems with taking him in the first round here, no matter how early you are. Maybe not first overall with Jonathan Taylor, but even that I don't hate in an 8-man best ball league.
All right. I see you, JL. I see you.
Cooper Kupp, my first pick.
I
didn't want him at all. Not at all.
I thought you might go a different direction, Josh.
No, I did want Cooper Kupp. I'm deciding between 2 people right now.
Now that I have Cooper Kupp on my Scott Fishbowl roster, I'm all in on Cooper Kupp. Same thing happened with Debo last year. And it worked out perfectly well.
I think Rock Hawk is Steven Johnson. That's who I think it is. That's who I think it is.
Okay, yeah.
Trying to remember.
Jefferson. I like that pick, Josh.
Yeah, also, Sully, what's up? Welcome in, Sully.
What up, Sully?
It's nice to get one of those top tier receivers to start out. I was between him and one other person, but hey, maybe that one other person will make it back to me. It wouldn't be that crazy.
Jamar Chase.
Josh, are you firmly Jefferson over Chase for redraft this season?
So for redraft, I'm firmly Jefferson over Chase. There's no doubt about it. I think actually in a best ball format, Chase levels out with Justin Jefferson a little bit for me.
That just blow up potential.
Yeah, exactly. I want that on my best ball teams, especially an 8-man league. But when it comes down to it, I've done some thinking about this the past week or so as well, and I'm definitely firmly on Justin Jefferson over Jamar Chase in pretty much every format, including dynasty leagues.
Yeah, it's this is the one I've flipped back and forth on over and over and over again, and I think I'm with you 50% because I am firmly Justin Jefferson over Chase redraft for this year, but I think I am still Chase over Jefferson, and it's the quarterback. That's the tiebreaker. It's Joe Burrow tied to Jamar Chase because they're both unbelievably talented. And that's just what I use as the tiebreaker.
I think that's completely fair. I don't blame you on the slightest for that.
Oh, and now the running backs start going. We had a couple more
by
go
Craig.
off the board.
Austin Eckler, Derrick Henry. That is a sweet start.
Yeah, that's pretty hot. And Josh is back on the clock.
I would love if Jordan was in the stream right now because I want to get his opinion on the Kyle Pitts there. Kyle Pitts pick right there in the second round. His second pick is Kyle Pitts. I'm assuming that means that he either thinks that Kyle Pitts is going to have some big old weeks and, he's going to build around his team around that, or he just, thinks Kyle Pitts is going to have a fantastic overall season. I'm a little bit nervous myself, but I still love Kyle Pitts.
Yeah. Third tight end off the board already. So we had Mark Andrews go in the previous round and then Kyle Pitts here. That does feel a little early for me for Kyle Pitts. I don't know that I'd want to take him here.
But we talked about it earlier. Like in this kind of league, you want to separate yourself, especially with that tight end spot. So he's doing that.
But here's like the nuance to that point, Josh, is that I don't like getting that differentiation if you're getting hurt at other positions, right? If you're giving up value at other positions, that's where I hesitate to take that tight end, because you taking tight end early does mean you're not taking one of these elite players at one of the other positions.
Knowing Jordan, though, I'm sure he has good reason for it.
Absolutely.
I'm assuming he actually just is all in on Kyle Pitts in some sort of way. Not all in, but I mean, it's not like it's a crazy reach. Yep, that's he comes
not
in.
A crazy reach at all.
8-team league, Kyle Pitts is my tight end 3. Delaney Walker had a monster year with
Mariota factor, absolutely.
I would love to debate with you about this a little bit, Jordan. I've looked into it a little bit, and I think Kyle Pitts is a much better tight end than Delaney Walker is. So to your point, that's a great point. Kyle Pitts is personally my tight end 4, but he's 2 points behind Darren Waller. They didn't have. I would say that Delaney Walker was forced. I just expect that offense will pass more than he will this year. I'm just a little bit nervous for Marcus Mariota even being the starting quarterback after this season.
Jordan said I can explain more, but didn't have enough characters.
Do a video. Get more characters. Josh. Do a Kyle Pitts video.
I have some written down research I want to get to you, Jordan. We'll talk about it later.
And Sully, and you're saying if Kyle Pitts scored 4 to 6 touchdowns last season, this wouldn't be a conversation. And you're probably right. There probably would be more excitement or less hesitancy.
I think there would be, because that would be 4 to 6 touchdowns with Matt Ryan. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know.
This draft
like Matt Ryan
so far, it started with a Simon pick with Travis Kelce, and then after that, this is not a very Simon draft so far. I went double running back, but I liked the running back sitting there. I wanted to try something else. And then because the league is smaller, wide receiver is deep. And I think it may make less and less sense to draft wide receiver early the smaller the league size gets. Just a theory. I'm going to see how this team turns out, how much I like it.
No, I like it. You're typically a guy that loves to load up with wide receiver, right?
Yep, I like to load up with wide receiver early and then just throw darts at running backs as the draft goes on. Maybe grab a value like one of those older backs that people aren't as excited about, but still have value. I'll say their names. Frank Gore, someone like that. Exactly, JL.
Always good value.
I like it. Both of you guys, the names we talked about at the beginning, Mike Evans and CeeDee Lamb. Now you guys are both a little bit not wide receiver heavy, but have had similar drafts, I think, where you went wide receiver, running back, wide receiver, right? If I'm not mistaken, both of you.
Yeah.
I
really like the wide receiver value here. The running back value is not fantastic. It feels like it's better just to wait around rather than reaching on a Fournette or Alvin Kamara, especially since I already drafted Najee Harris. I'm not as pressed about getting another running back.
Would have loved to get Darren Waller with my next pick, but he was unfortunately taken by Jordan. Jordan, what are you doing? Okay, so he's limiting his league mates here on that tight end position we were just talking about being so valuable, especially in an 8-man league, and he's taken a tight end away from me. I'm very disappointed about it.
In an 8-person league, he just it's not a bad pick at all. And then George Kittle by Craig.
Yeah, and the double tight end strategy, this is a 2 flex league. Like we said, each week 2 players are going to go into your flex. So definitely like a riskier strategy, or you have to be more intentional with the rest of your draft after going double tight end early like Jordan did. But you can pull it off, and both of those guys could be weekly starters in a best ball format.
So let me talk for a second. If this happens to you in your league, if you're one of the teams that does not get one of these tight ends in a smaller best ball league, I'm waiting. I'm not reaching because of the scarcity. I'm just going to wait. I'm going to pick up the value at the other positions, and that's the strategy I'm taking. And it's completely based off of how my other league mates have drafted here.
That's what I just did in Scott Fishbowl. I wanted to take tight end in those middle rounds, but it just kept not falling. I didn't want to reach. And so I took my first tight end in like round 13 or 14, just waited and waited and waited.
Feels bad, but your team is going to be much better from a strategic standpoint if you don't, because your first inclination is going to be, I need to get a tight end now. Yeah, they're running out. I need to get one. Instead, just wait.
Instead of taking the bottom of a tier, know what I mean? Like you're taking the bottom of a tier in that position. Grab someone from the top of a tier in another position. Same tier.
That's how that tight end strategy really.
And you're
wins.
on the clock, JL. Just so you know.
See that.
I'll tell you guys this much. Like I'm very pumped to get both Justin Jefferson and Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook I have projected to be my 5th overall running back. Justin Jefferson my number 2 wide receiver. I hate that they're on the same team.
Oh, JL, you son of a freaking gun, you piece of human garbage. He's gonna get the spot with Travis Kelce.
I ran out of time.
You auto-picked and sniped me. I am so mad right now. That's is not cool.
I just saw Alvin Kamara come off the board, and I think that's interesting. I was actually somewhat considering him just because if he plays, I do think he's a top 10 player, and we're hearing reports he could be suspended for 6 games. He could be suspended 0 games for this upcoming season. If he's suspended 0 games, this is a straight-up steal for Alvin Kamara at this point. So I'm fine with picking him there, especially an 8-man league where you're going to have more depth to kind of play around him while if he does get suspended, then you get him when he's back.
Yeah. And that's great in the best.
I'm fine drafting him a little bit earlier. Exactly. I wouldn't typically draft him this high in a redraft league with the suspension possibly looming, but
yeah. And Jordan in here talking about Dalton Schultz. We were talking about those middle round tight ends. Dalton Schultz is being way.
I would love some more information on that. Actually,
his ADP is 16 away from Kittle and 50 away from Hockenson, Goddard, and Ertz. So just when you look at it, do you put him closer to Kittle or the other guys? Right.
The other guys, in my opinion. He is somewhere in between them, but
I think he's closer to Kittle, actually.
Really?
I would put him in the same tier as Kittle personally. The number 2 pass catcher, possibly for the Dallas Cowboys. I just think there's a lot of safety with him. I think there's a lot of safe targets that he's going to get this season. Where with Kittle, with Trey Lance probably being the starter and just not knowing what that offense is going to look like, I think Kittle's the best tight end in the NFL. Okay, so don't get me wrong. I love Kittle, the best tight end in the NFL, but that involves blocking. He's one of the best blockers as well. So, I mean, get the ball in Kittle's hands. He's going to make something happen. There's also an injury history with Kittle. I would definitely take Kittle over Dalton Schultz. Don't get me wrong.
What's up, JR? Welcome in. JR wants to know.
We're disagreeing a lot today, Jordan.
I think J-Wall's at a trampoline park, if I'm not mistaken. But that could have been yesterday. Maybe he's still there for a full day. I think he's stuck out there. He's stuck. And then Damien, you're saying, same, Simon. I didn't like the tight end value that fell to me. So through 10, I haven't got a tight end yet. You don't feel forced to reach at a position.
Yeah. No, you're the right inclination here, Dame.
Man, I got sniped twice in a row and I've just made tilt picks. And I'm just trying to recover
Williams
here. Well, I went Mike Williams because I tilt picked Justin Herbert after you took Travis Kelce from me. I went with a different stack. I just grabbed a stack on that turn with Williams and Herbert. But man, that last really threw my plan off.
I kind of wish I didn't go Patrick Mahomes. Damn it, Jordan.
Jordan said Jason Witten's still available.
Yeah,
I'm not up yet.
That's the number one rule of mock drafts, Jordan. Do not name drop.
Yeah, come on, man. I was definitely going to take him. Now I'm sure he's going to be gone before my next pick. I heard you say, damn it, Jordan. You were looking for some Javonte love?
I was looking for some Javonte. I was going between him and T. Higgins. I have that back-to-back, but he got him.
He saved you, JL. He saved your team.
I like the Javonte Williams pick. I like him actually a little bit more, maybe even in best ball. And he's got this built-in upside where if he is just like getting 70% of the workload even, where I think that's very possible. You know, I love Melvin Gordon. I think he's going to be more involved than a lot of people think, but Javonte Williams just has this awesome built-in upside in that Broncos offense. So I really like him there.
Let's take a look at some of these teams that we've got going on so far. Any ones that you want to? We've been talking a lot about Jordan, so let's see how this is shaping up with those two tight ends early. Javonte Williams was his first running back he took, and then Jamar Chase and Michael Pittman as his wide receivers. I like this team so far. I'm surprised with those. I guess it's an 8-man league, so you are going to have a little bit better depth. But to have both of those tight ends in the second and third rounds and still leave with two top-tier, high-upside wide receivers, and he just stacked it with a quarterback. So Jordan going two tight ends and a quarterback. JL, what do you think of this team?
Yeah, I think when you look at the other rosters here, they're a little bit more stacked. So even though it looks like, Jamar Chase, Michael Pittman, that's great. Yeah. It looks decent. When you put that up against some of these other rosters, you can tell there's definitely a separation here. Of course, it's because Jordan went tight end heavy here. So it's not
doesn't mean it's worse. No,
doesn't mean it's worse at all. But just stacking it up against them, I think is definitely interesting here. And I am on the clock.
You are. You got about 20 seconds, John Luke.
I feel like I start at 20 seconds.
Well, if you don't look for 10 seconds, that's probably what
happens. Yeah.
Jordan said, "And Joe Burrow, sir," and he wanted to get.
He wanted T. Higgins and Joe Burrow. Probably stack that. Yeah,
that would have been hot.
Would have been real hot, real sexy.
Ooh, man, those last two picks were at the top of my queue. Ezekiel Elliott and Travis Etienne. I was really hoping for Zeke right there.
Zeke would have been a good value here.
Yeah.
I like that pick.
I think Zeke's still going to be Zekeing next year. Personally,
I agree with you.
And
what that means is just what that means is Tony Pollard's going to be involved. He's going to get a lot of catches, probably. I think more than Zeke this year. That's what I project. But Zeke's going to be the lead running back. He's in a very good offense, and he's going to get a lot of goal line opportunities. I think he's going to be a top 12 running back again.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do. Shoot.
Did you mean to pick him?
Oh, that's a good pick.
Yeah,
I had him
I went with Deontay Johnson. That's what I went with.
I like Deontay Johnson there.
Yeah, it was. I think what I wanted. I just panicked. I'm honestly, I'm a little bit uncomfortable with this draft. It's not a bad thing, but I'm not used to getting multiple running backs in those early rounds. I've been doing hero RB quite a bit, but this changes things. Change your strategy in drafts.
I really hate the Patrick Mahomes pick.
Well, maybe you shouldn't be so stupid.
But I do feel very happy that I made you mad, Simon. So I'm very conflicted here.
Yeah, you upset me quite a bit with that one.
Kyler
and Jordan said, if Burrow went, I was going ETN. Would have stolen ETN from you.
ETN. So much upside.
Just I know JL and myself are pretty high on ETN this year. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about that Jacksonville situation?
I don't love the Jacksonville situation really that much at all, but I do expect Trevor Lawrence to, more or less take the next step in his development. They need pass catchers as well. I mean, Christian Kirk's there. That's great. Evan Ingram, whatever. Marvin Jones, cool. But Travis Etienne's a really good pass catcher. And for a team that's void of pass catchers, I think that Etienne can really carve out a really good pass catching role and make his living there, even if the running game isn't, taking off, because I don't expect their offense. I don't expect the scoring opportunities to be there as much as a really good offense. So I think he's going to have to make his living in the receiving game. But Simon, I know you're a little bit, you're willing to take shots on James Robinson late. And if he comes back and he's a pass catcher, I'm really nervous about Etienne. So I think a ton of upside, but there's things to be nervous about in my mind too.
Did your pick fall to you, JL?
Oh yeah, it did. Breece Hall, such a value right now. I expected him to be a little bit higher up on this board.
Yeah, that is good value, Dale.
There are some, and I will say this ADP I don't think is fully fleshed out yet. It's still a little new, so there's some things you can find in there where people are sunk down a little bit.
Yeah, so also, make sure you do some best ball leagues outside of this draft.
Yeah, get
FanDuel.
Get ahead. Mr. Scamper's in here. This comment had me cracked up. These Sunday night drafts are basically turning into crisis situation management sessions for me.
Hey, look,
it's so true.
It's an important skill to learn.
On one pick, and then all of a sudden you're in full crisis mode. Like this, sound the alarms.
It is stressful.
Josh, let's take a peek.
Real fast. Jordan said, "If my next boss asks me how I handle situations under pressure,
just send him a link.
Just like literally, it's like this is it. This is how I do it. Check me out.
This is it. Yeah.
What was up, Simon?
I wanted to take a peek at your team. How are you feeling about it so far through 7 picks?
I like it. I like it a lot. If my next pick comes to fruition, who I want, I'm gonna like it even more. I'll tell you that much. I'm very balanced in my opinion. I have a quarterback that I'm extremely high on, Lamar Jackson, and then I have 3 running backs that I absolutely love. I have 3 wide receivers that I absolutely love. These are all top. Let's see. Zeke is my lowest running back 13. So I told you he was going to be a running back 12, but he doesn't get injured. So there's going to be a guy that gets injured in front of him.
For sure.
And then Cortland Sutton, wide receiver 15. I have him, and he's my worst wide receiver. So I'm really liking how my team's coming together.
Yeah, I'm looking at it, and it's becoming apparent to me like the effect that going Kelsey in the first round had. Like, I'm happy with my team, but I think like specifically at wide receiver, like there's my gap. Like I'm just as happy at running back, quarterback, tight end, love it. But then you clearly have an edge on me in the wide receiver department. Like it affects your team. You got to be comfortable with it if you're going to go tight end early like that.
I was between Dobbins and this guy. I'm going to go TJ Hawkinson. And we were just talking about this, like breaking tight end. I actually do have TJ Hawkinson projected for only 1.5 point less than Dalton Schultz. So to Jordan's point earlier, TJ Hawkinson and Dalton Schultz probably should be closer. But I think that's more that, maybe Dalton Schultz getting slightly overdrafted, but I think TJ Hawkinson should be a little bit higher as well, personally. But I get why people are scared. You know, Amon-Ra St. Brown broke out. DeAndre Swift's going to get his. The offense isn't necessarily awesome, so I get it. I like him better in best of all, actually.
DeAndre Swift is a guy I have been rising on recently. Not drastically, but just moving up a little bit in my top 10. He's
8 for me, running back 8.
I'm curious where I have him. I think in that similar range, but it is my pick. And what are we going to do here, Simon?
What are we doing here, Simon?
We're grabbing Mr. Elijah Mitchell. He's one of my favorite running backs to target this year.
He would have been my next pick.
I think he would have been my next pick too.
Well, couldn't have been both of your next picks.
Could have been.
Well, he wouldn't have been my next pick then.
He would have been my next pick.
Yeah. Getting TJ Hawkinson there, kind of completing my balanced build where I have 1 quarterback, 1 tight end that I'm very confident in, 3 wide receivers and 3 running backs. I love where I'm sitting right now. I feel like I could just take value anywhere right now. And whoever I feel like is going to score me the most points, that's who I'm probably going to take here.
Yeah, I love that balance approach.
And you're in a similar boat to Josh, just minus the tight end right now, JL, right? Very balanced with running back and wide receiver. You can take
your wide receiver.
Whichever one of those positions.
You took Bateman?
I did take Bateman.
Mother.
A little early. Reached on him a tiny bit, but I like him. And in best ball, I think
I would have loved to pair him with Lamar.
Yeah, that would have been great. Would have been
fantastic. Would have been cool.
That would have been a really good idea.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
I got you.
Yeah, you're cool. Is right.
Where are you going, Simon?
Tell us about Simon. Simon, you
guys
have the same build as me. You have a quarterback,
probably
tight
guess
end,
what I'm
3
doing.
running backs and 3 wide receivers. He took Darnell Mooney.
That's a good
pick. We know at this point, Simon, is he wide receiver 12 for you this upcoming
12.
season?
Yeah, we've moved him down to 12. He's sitting there at 12 right now.
Yeah. He was top 10 for a little bit, all right?
Yeah, I got a little excited there at the beginning of the offseason, and he was up at number 9. We have tempered, and he has moved down to wide receiver 12.
And we had this whole debate about Bateman. It wasn't really Bateman. It was Bateman. It turned into Bateman versus Mooney. And I was on the Bateman side. I actually have Mooney ranked ahead of Bateman a little bit at this point. So.
A little bit at this point. Where do you have Mooney?
What a value.
I have Mooney at wide receiver 23. Rashad Bateman is 25.
Rashad Bateman is 25. Okay, so both in that kind of wide receiver 2 range, back end wide receiver 2 kind of players.
Yes.
But we've talked about this, Josh, like the separation, and you especially having gone through your full projections, the separation from like wide receiver 12 to like wide receiver 25 is not much at all.
I'll tell you exactly. It is exactly 32 fantasy points.
So 2 points a game.
I
guess that's
from wide receiver 12 to wide receiver 25 for me.
So that's a jump. I'm curious what that is for running backs. How much of a drop off?
Running backs, it's probably a bigger jump, I would assume.
Probably.
Actually, no, it's not. Yeah, it is. It's a bigger jump. 24. My running back 24 is Cordell Patterson, 202 PPR fantasy points I projected, and wide receiver running back 12 is 254.
Okay, so a decent jump,
50-point jump for running backs.
Jordan said JL sniped me again. JL's been doing Jordan dirty this year.
That Jerry Jeudy value. I did not think that he was still there. I scrolled down. He was buried a little bit.
I was between him and Darnell Mooney for that pick. It feels weird scrolling and seeing those names, doesn't it? There's something. Don't be afraid, guys, to go against ADP if it's your guy. Like, don't reach if you don't have to, but it's okay to pick a guy 6-7 names down. You don't have to just pick from the top 5 names up there.
Yeah, go look at how wrong ADP is every year.
There's pressure. There's like
some make you feel better about it.
Pressure that the list puts pressure on you to make you feel like you're making the wrong decision if you take someone further down. So you gotta escape that like bias that the list is creating for you.
It's a great point, Simon.
This list is creating a lot of bias for me right now.
I fall into it all the time. Like it is hard to like. I'll be like, oh no, that's too early.
I have no idea to pick. I think I'm gonna pick Damien Harris. Yeah,
I like that pick. I was considering it,
Josh.
I didn't want to push it because I have enough running backs, and
I have 5 running backs now.
Yeah, I think
and this is a situation I've taken 5 running backs this early where I could possibly just not draft another running back this entire draft.
Yeah, you're probably good on running back. I mean, to maximize like the potential outcomes for your team, it probably makes sense since you're so heavy on running back to hammer that wide receiver position. Yeah, Jill, you got 5 seconds.
I want to keep just taking the wide receiver value because you guys are leaving so much value there, but should get my tight end probably.
Yeah, I see a lot of wide receiver value, and that's what actually there's just so many guys that I kind of have lumped together personally,
Yeah, so, no, that's totally fair. Yeah.
So that's kind of why I went running back. Where running back, my current projections have Damien Harris, scoring a lot more points than anyone else.
Dame, don't do it.
Don't do it, Dame.
Thank God. Thanks.
Actually,
Dame.
AJ Dillon's great. Actually,
that's who I was hoping. That's who I was going between was Amon-Ra St. Brown and
AJ Dillon.
And AJ Dillon's a great pick. I was considering him too.
Thank you so much.
I was considering him as well.
And Josh, now I find myself in a similar position to you. I only have 4 running backs, but I'm approaching that like Joe Mixon, DeAndre Swift, Elijah Mitchell, AJ Dillon. I feel good. Like I feel very good with those 4 running backs. Maybe one more late, but I don't feel the pressure to have 7-8 running backs on this roster.
Mm-hmm. No, I completely understand that.
Let's you guys want to take a peek ski at another one of these teams? Let's go over to Dame's team.
Peek ski.
So Dame has Tom Brady at quarterback, Christian McCaffrey, Aaron Jones, and the suspended Alvin Kamara at running back. Then Devontae Adams, AJ Brown, Brandon Cooks, Adam Thielen, Amon-Ra St. Brown at wide receiver, and Dalton Schultz at tight end. I'm almost back on the clock, but JL, how do you feel about this team? Strengths, weaknesses, or what do you think Dame should be targeting the rest of this draft?
Yeah, I think you need to shore up that running back position. If something happens with Alvin Kamara, you absolutely want to be covered there in a best ball league. But CMC and Aaron Jones are solid in my opinion. Tom Brady is a great pick at QB. I would definitely try and get another QB who maybe is a little bit more risky later on in the draft here, just to shore up with complement that Tom Brady role. And then wide receivers, your wide receivers are solid. You started off really hot with Devontae Adams, AJ Brown, Brandon Cooks, Adam Thielen, and Amon-Ra St. Brown is like the least sexy.
Amon-Ra St. Brown got picked.
Yes, yeah, it was a good pick. Very good pick.
Josh, that's how you know it was a good pick if someone makes that noise.
Yes.
Yeah, it's great. It's
now
awesome
I'm on the clock.
And Craig said, "I feel bad. Can't draft, chat, and do dishes all at one time. Use your nose for one of them." I don't care which one. Just
you're not using your nose
for one of them. Let's see. And then Chris saying Dame has the all IR team. I don't think there's too much IR going on there, right?
No.
CMC maybe. Alvin Kamara. out injured.
Yeah, keep saying that when CMC just absolutely obliterates in the first week.
I hope CMC plays a full 17 games.
People
this year.
forgetting. Yeah.
He's so good when he plays. Just unbelievable. Trey Lance to Josh. Josh, was that your second quarterback?
It was my second quarterback. Lamar Jackson and Trey Lance, they have different bye weeks. So that's part of the reason why I would. But talk about upside. Trey Lance has all the upside of the world. He's going to run around the field. He's got awesome weapons, and he's got an awesome coach. Trey Lance is set up for success, guys.
As long as he's the starter, right?
As long as he's the starter.
I'm just kidding.
No. I mean, there's going to still be people out there that are going to be on the, Jimmy Garoppolo is the starter still, but that's not what the leaves, the tea leaves are telling us right now.
Yeah.
Jimmy Garoppolo and Kyle Shanahan both came out saying probably not playing. I'm probably going to be in a different uniform next year.
I like that pick, Scampers. I was hoping Alan Lazard would make it back to me. I was between Lazard and Cooper on my pick and decided to go Cooper because I always draft Lazard, trying to diversify a little bit.
That Craig took here, Rashad Penny and Kenneth Walker on the turn.
In best ball, I like it way more than in non-best ball, right? Maybe it limits some upside, but also Craig doesn't have to figure out how this situation plays out.
No!
Because best ball just starts your best players.
No, we're good. So I just got tricked.
Like Craig will have that backfield locked up.
Great value right there. I didn't notice Miles Sanders. I actually prefer him over Damien Harris. I missed him. The ADP got me.
They got you.
The ADP got me, guys.
They get you sometimes.
Rock Hawk has 4 QBs, guys.
I think Rock Hawk might be auto drafting over there if we're seeing what's going on. But that just means more value for us.
Sure.
Hey, but they got that QB position freaking locked up. Yeah, no one's beating them. You know what? I don't hate this team. Like, I'm looking at it. They need some running back help, but like the upside's there. Oh, shoot, I'm on the clock. No. This is going to be
16 seconds.
Yeah, I can feel it. I'm going to be upset with whoever I take here. Fuck. Okay.
We all love to see it. We all love to see it.
No. What do? I don't even. This is the wrong pick.
Pick the good person.
Shit. No, I did the wrong thing.
Oh, Pat Frymuth.
That's not who I wanted. That's not the value. The value wasn't right there.
He's a player, He's a baller.
There are things that we could say about that player.
Yeah, I could say some things. You could say some things. Josh could say some things. Maybe Jordan.
His rookie year is among the elite rookie years at the tight end position.
Thanks, Josh.
There you go.
Thank you.
There you have
it.
Said
something.
I really
appreciate it. You did say something, and it wasn't me.
Very good.
My night's ruined.
I can't believe I got this value on Drake London. If we can just switch the conversation to me.
Yeah, let's switch the conversation to you, please, because I don't want to talk about
the ADP
upside is immense.
Reverse got me. I got the ADP on this one.
There's someone that I'm a little bit more excited for than Drake London that I would hope to get here, but
Jamar Chase was already drafted, Josh.
Oh, shit. I thought the ADP got everyone. No,
I like Jamar Chase
is
pick. Buried. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Let's see. I don't know what to do here. I think I'm going to go with Devonta Smith. I think AJ Brown has pushed his ADP down a little bit further than maybe it should be. We'll see. He was a borderline 1,000-yard receiver last season. I like the Gage pick. Now, we were talking about Mike Evans with Chris Godwin coming back earlier, Josh. The player that it really affects for me is Russell Gage. He goes from being a pretty good, late round wide receiver to me to being someone that I'm not drafting as much if we get more positive news about Chris Godwin coming back.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Simon. Russell Gage is a fine player, but he is nowhere near as talented as, obviously Mike Evans or Chris Godwin. Hopefully Chris Godwin. So Russell Gage will still be valuable to that offense, especially from an NFL perspective, because they need more pass catchers simply when it comes down to it. So he's going to be on the field a lot still, even with Chris Godwin, and he's playing with Tom Brady. So maybe that's a point, he's just not going to set the world on fire, in my opinion.
He's very clearly at least the third option in that offense from the passing game. And that's being optimistic.
That can be valuable, though, I guess.
Exactly. There's value in that, but it takes away some of that upside if Godwin's back right away.
Yeah. If we knew Godwin was playing week 1, I would have taken Robert Woods with my next pick.
I was playing the game, but people are smarting up. Robert Woods was a little bit further down there. I was like, maybe he'll make it back to me, but he didn't quite make it.
He did not.
Close-ish. And Olave. That's a pretty good turn for Craig right there.
Yeah, I like both those guys.
Yeah.
Tyler Boyd is a receiver that I really like in best ball because we saw last year that Bengals offense really knows how to attack the weaknesses of opposing teams, and especially when a team is weak against the slot. So like Tyler Boyd in redraft, maybe you can predict it. You can throw him out there whenever they've got bad matchups, but in best ball, you're going to get those boom weeks from him where they've got a good slot matchup. And you don't even have to think about it. It'll just get plugged on in there for you.
Mm-hmm.
Kadarius Toney, Josh. I feel like you've been rising on him.
I haven't been. I'm rose. I am rised up. I am there.
I am fully risen on Kadarius Toney.
I am firm on Kadarius Toney, if you know what I'm saying.
Your timer has been lengthened.
Yes. Nice.
That's a pretty good one. That's a good one.
Good. Kadarius Toney, I'm very excited for. Again, when he was on the field, which wasn't a lot his rookie year, he was awesome. He tore apart the metrics. He put up the stats. He was great. He passed the eye test. He checked all the boxes when he was on the field. Now he's coming in his second year. A lot of times we see wide receivers have pretty good games. We're betting on that with a lot of these other wide receivers, pretty good games here and there, but they don't put it all together. And in the second year, they put it all together. I know it's not a great situation, but he's my favorite New York Giants wide receiver by far this year. And he's an awesome athlete. Get the ball in this guy's hands, and he's going to make something happen. Let's go.
He was one of those guys where I feel like the fantasy output did not nearly match the level of excitement you had every time he did touch the ball. He was really exciting to watch. It just it never came together. Never quite worked. Oh no. And I'm almost back on the clock. I should have seen this coming. It goes in the same order every time.
It does. It really does.
I know. I could have been prepared for this, but instead I'm not.
Jordan said, can't believe you guys let me get Calvin Johnson mixed with Jerry Rice in the 10th.
Yeah. Well, I just got the third best wide receiver.
I'm going to go back to the 10th round.
Guys, I don't know if you missed it,
Gabriel Davis, I think he's talking about.
Gabe Davis.
Talking about Gabe Davis.
We're going to draft
Gabe Davis.
Mr. Christian Watson to this team now.
Oh
no.
Took my guy. No, he didn't.
That's the second time that's happened, J.O.
I know.
He didn't.
No, I'm lying. I was going to maybe take MVS, but I didn't.
I was considering MVS.
Mr. Scamper said, hi, chat. Hi, what's wrong?
Hi, Scamps.
Struggling with your draft, Mr. Scampers? Is that what's going on?
You got this.
Don't do it, Dame.
Woo, Dame didn't do it. You guys just keep letting this
J.O.?
Value fall to me.
I know he was still there.
I know.
Yeah. I entirely missed him. I scrolled and I didn't see him.
Man. These rookies.
Oh, I like that pick a lot, J.O.
I'm very happy with that.
Big fan of that pick. And Josh, that's what I should have done. I love your Komet there compared to where I took
Komet's a great pick.
I'd rather have Komet over Freiermuth personally, just for this upcoming season. Now the touchdown upside, I guess, is higher for Freiermuth, and in a best ball league, it probably evens it out a little bit for me. But I think Komet's the second best target on the Bears by far, and that's what you're looking for a breakout tight end.
I'd rather have Komet than Freiermuth too. I actually was hoping Komet would fall to me in Scott Fishbowl draft, but had to settle for Freiermuth. So
yeah,
I feel you, Josh.
I like Freiermuth. I love him as a talent. I'm just nervous about that quarterback situation a little bit. Mitch Trubisky, Kenny Pickett, I'm not so sure. There's just a lot of mouths to feed. There's a lot of mouths to feed there.
That, Josh, I was just looking at my team and I didn't realize this while drafting. Maybe I should have been paying more attention, but I have Deontay Johnson, Chase Claypool, and Pat Freiermuth.
Hey,
how does
Steelers have a good
week?
I don't love it.
Right.
To be completely honest.
If it was maybe the Rams or the Buccaneers, I'd be a little bit happier about it. But I'm not sold on the Steelers offense. In fact, I'm far from sold on this Steelers offense.
And their defense is really good too, which is another point to make, where they can grind out games with Najee Harris. Their offensive line's not very good, so maybe not grind it out, but their defense can keep them in games, keep it low scoring, and again, that's not great for fantasy.
I guess if you're going to put your eggs in a team basket, make sure it's an offense that you want to be tied to. Because a lot of people are heavily tied to the Steelers here.
No, I think I might take this guy.
Do it.
I think I might just do it. Kirk Cousins is my third quarterback.
No, son of a gun! He was going to be my second
little
quarterback.
Stinky butt.
I have three quarterbacks I like a lot, but like I just feel like Kirk Cousins shouldn't have been there anymore. He felt like
I just was hoping he would keep falling to me, honestly.
Joe, don't freaking do it, whatever you do.
I feel like I'm about to do it.
No,
just knowing you,
just
he's
don't
gonna do it.
Don't do it. For the love of God, don't do it. Let me have him. Please.
Tua.
You son of a gun. You did it. I knew it too. I knew that was going to happen. Whatever. I'll just take
love to see it. Love to see it.
Love to freaking see it.
Rock Hard or Rock Hawk or whoever's there at the end is apparently stockpiling quarterbacks. So I should probably take mine now. Take some Trevor Lawrence.
I would have rather had Kirk Cousins than Tua, to be fair.
I'd much rather have Kirk Cousins than Tua personally.
But in best ball, I'm okay. I'm okay taking Tua. Just going for upside here.
That Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, there's going to be big, huge plays happening, which I assume will lead to huge weeks for Tua.
Yeah. And I have Patrick Mahomes here. So I'm hoping that Patrick Mahomes outscores Kirk Cousins most of the time. If not, it's going to be a weird year.
Yeah, I've Kirk Cousins projected as my quarterback 11. Getting about 27 more fantasy points into a quarterback 16.
Also, guys, we are now into round 17. This is a 20-round draft, so we've got 4 picks left, 17, 18, 19, 20. Look at that math. So this is where you got to start looking at kind of your positions on your team and what you need to fill in, what you need more of. Do you need that additional tight end? Do you need another quarterback?
So what's your guys thinking? What's your strategies when you get into these late rounds here? Are you trying to look for weak positions and just get high upside guys, or how are you thinking about it?
I mean, for me personally, I want upside at these late positions. I want guys that, if things go right for that player, he's awesome, right? And there's quite a few people on the board that fall into that category. I'll name names. I'm looking at guys like Mecole Hardman, Tim Patrick, Rondale Moore a little bit, Jahan Dotson maybe. So those kinds of wide receivers. And then if you look at the running back position, it's just guys that maybe if the starter gets injured, this guy is locked and loaded into a awesome role. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. But I'm going to probably take one of those wide receivers I just mentioned. Garrett Wilson was just drafted. He was another one. And I'm going to go with, this is close.
So close.
I'm going to go with Mecole Hardman.
Oh, I like that.
Joe, what I was going to say to answer your question is like Josh and I, or Josh hit it on a little bit earlier when he was talking about his running back position. Like he's got 5 very solid guys. If I was in Josh's position, I'm probably not using any of these last round picks on some of those high upside running backs because I feel pretty safe in who's going to be starting for me week in, week out. Now, like at wide receiver, if you're a little bit weaker there, I feel like I'm a little bit weaker at wide receiver on my team. I'm hammering those high upside guys down there. And the other thing is I have 2 tight ends. I'm going to end this draft with 2 tight ends. I'm going to end this draft with Travis Kelce and Pat Freiermuth because the success of this team, since I spent a first round pick on Travis Kelce, relies on him returning that value. If he doesn't return that value and start for me almost every week this season, this is a losing team anyways, in my eyes. So I'm going to that's my bet. My bet is
into your strategy.
Lean into my strategy. Don't hedge because then I'm just creating a middling team. So I'm going to have Pat Freiermuth there as well, but I'm not taking a third tight end. I'm going to take shots at other positions here.
I like that. I like that tip a lot, Simon. I think that's underrated. I think most people don't follow that strategy. They'll try and hedge.
Don't hedge. They don't hedge, especially not in best ball, and especially not in tournament formats. Yeah. So some of these best ball leagues turn into tournaments or any type of format you're in. Scott Fishbowl, if you're playing over there. I'm not a fan of the hedge.
I'm with you.
Josh is on the clock with 8 seconds left.
It's gonna be Josh.
Take Rondale Moore. Rondale Moore.
You know what, Josh? You told them who you were drafting, and they're just letting you draft him anyway. You told everybody who you were going to draft, and you just got him 2 picks in a row.
Rondale Moore is going to have at least a couple big games next season. I don't think he's going to be consistent. It's going to make me nervous having him on a fantasy team in any other format outside of best ball format. But I like the guy's talent. He was a 2nd-round pick. There's an opening now with Christian Kirk leaving town. I know they signed Marquise Brown, but Marquise Brown's a different receiver than Christian Kirk. Rondale Moore's a little bit closer to Christian Kirk. I'm just saying that because they're closer to the line of scrimmage kind of passes. So I think the Arizona Cardinals are going to find ways to get the ball into his hands. And he's a playmaker. So if they find ways to get in the ball in his hands, he's a playmaker. He's going to make plays happen. It's a simple equation, right?
Oh, man. These wide receiver, I feel like from my last pick to now, the wide receiver board just evaporated.
You're welcome.
Like it's an entirely different tier than it was previously.
Yeah. And this is to our point, when we were saying, you don't necessarily have to grab like a quarterback or reach for a quarterback. Having an elite quarterback's obviously awesome, but just look, there's still quarterbacks here. Every other position's kind of pretty barren right now, but I still got Mac Jones, Ryan Tannehill, Daniel Jones, Carson Wentz, Zach Wilson, Baker Mayfield, Jared Goff, David Mills. I'm not excited about these guys necessarily, but in a best ball format, you get a few of these guys. You get one pretty solid Kirk Cousins level guy who mixed in with some of these guys. You got a pretty good quarterback position. Especially if maybe you're the worst quarterback team in the league, but you're stacking the running back, wide receiver, and tight end around that, you got a pretty good shot at winning that league.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Where to go here?
Oh boy.
There's a lot of these running backs that I feel like have some upside that I'm like. It feels weird scrolling so far, but there's some guys further down that I want to take just for pure upside plays right here.
Yeah,
Brian Robinson. As far as situations that we're talking about where just one thing has to change maybe for them to step into a big role. If Antonio Gibson, who's a 300 touch kind of running back, goes down, JD McKissick isn't becoming the every down back. He's not built for that. It's going to be Brian Robinson stepping up into that role. Mm-hmm. So I'll take a rookie like that at the end of the draft where just one thing has to change for them to have a completely different value.
Yeah.
And I'm probably, I don't want JL to steal my pick or anything, but go ahead, JL. Just I'm not giving you any information.
Mr. Tunyon off the board. Also, Mr. Scampers in here said, I was incredibly foolish thinking Ingram would make it past Mr. Dishwasher Craig. Ingram is so hot right now, guys. Haven't you heard? If you're just jumping on the Ingram train, you're a couple days.
What about the other Ingram? The old Ingram.
Our Ingram too.
Ingram with an I? Ingram with an I instead of Ingram with an E?
Ingram with an I. And very similar to your situation, Simon, it's not necessarily a rookie running back. It's quite the opposite, actually. Yeah. But if Alvin Kamara is suspended, I fully expect Mark Ingram will be the starting running back. And if he's suspended 6 games, I get 6 games with the starting running back, Mark Ingram. I know he's old. But last year, Alvin Kamara missed 2 games. Mark Ingram was the starter for those games. He was pretty darn good.
Pretty darn good.
I would agree with
that.
I'll take
6 games plus the built-in injury concern if something were to happen to Kamara. So I got plus with Mark Ingram there, I think.
Well, so Jordan was in here asking, how do you like my team now? Mr. Scamper said, not as much as Rock Hard Hawks, Jordan, but I like it.
Rock Hard Hawks.
Rock Hard Hawks. That's a fantasy team name, right?
Terrifying vision.
So bad.
My eye! I'm sorry.
Both my eyes!
What are you guys talking about?
Who knows?
Their talents.
Who knows?
Just their talents.
We are into our last round here.
Thank God with the way this conversation's going.
Yeah.
We are getting off the rails.
Really need it.
Just one more change to Rockhawk's name, and we're probably in territory of getting kicked off FanDuel. We're one more improvisation away, one more escalation on that joke. Jail, you're on the clock for your last pick, and Josh just took Tyler Higbee with his last pick. You're not.
He's one of those tight ends.
You're not team of Never Higbee. You're not on team Never Higbee.
Oh,
there's a contingency that is on Never Higbee.
He's got an opportunity this year. He's in a great offense. That's what we're looking for. If you're not going to be one of the top 2 pass catchers for your team at the tight end position, or if you're not extremely talented, I'm looking for the really good offenses. I mean, Cameron Brate's still there, so he was a consideration, but Higbee has shown a little bit more than Cameron Brate. I think he's a little bit better of an overall receiving tight end. So I'll take Higbee here with some upside. I think he'll have some big games.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. That's it. Guys. And that is the draft. That is the end of this draft today. That was a fun one. I feel like there were some interesting roster constructions. The 8 teams really mixes up like what you're used to being available, and you got to think on your feet a little bit.
Yeah,
right
30-second clocks.
Yeah,
I went wide receiver heavy. I like my team too.
Let's take a peek at your team before we jump off, JL. We looked at Josh's quite a bit. I think we've pulled mine up a couple times, but I don't think we've opened yours up. We've got Patrick Mahomes and Tua at QB. You've got 6 running backs: Najee Harris, Travis Etienne, Breece Hall, Tony Pollard, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Nyheim Hines. Wide receivers, Cooper Kupp,
13th round, you got Clyde Edwards-Helaire, 13th round.
Rashad Bateman, Jerry Jeudy, Drake London, Treylon Burks, Jamison Williams, Kenny Galladay.
You're hoping for one of those wide receivers to break out.
That's the strategy, yeah. And we've seen that. We've seen that work. We've seen that work in the past,
especially
few years.
Lately.
It's worked very well. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, I like your team. Did you have 3 tight ends or 2 tight ends?
3. Dallas Goedert, Mike Gesicki, and Irv Smith. Yeah.
A lot of the times I do like going either 3 tight ends and 2 quarterbacks, or 3 quarterbacks, 2 tight ends. I went 3 of both this draft. It just felt right for my team for some reason.
I almost went Zach Wilson at the end to follow that same strategy, Josh, but decided against it.
Dame grabbed Zach Wilson in the last round, and that's a great pick. Like that illustrates your point about quarterback. Zach Wilson is a starting quarterback on should be much better offense this year that Dame got in the 20th round of this draft. You can find value there. Like I'm sitting there thinking, would I have rather had Jameis in like the 12th where I drafted him, or Zach Wilson in the 20th? Probably Zach Wilson in the 20th. Without a doubt.
Yeah.
So maybe that's a lesson from these 8-man leagues is you can really wait if you need to.
Maybe the lesson is if you're planning on in an 8-man league selecting a quarterback after like quarterback 17 or 18, wait till the very end.
Yeah.
Don't even wait the draft pick until the very end, because
around 19, 20.
Yeah.
And that's even with some of these teams going quarterback heavy, right? Like we had a 4 quarterback team and then multiple 3 quarterback teams in here. So the value just kept on falling.
I'm excited to see the results of this league.
Me too. I'm excited to see the results of all of these. And I said it last week. We've started warming up now. Know what I mean? We got the warm ups in.
Yeah.
I think one of these weeks we throw a couple bucks on there. We make it a $5 league, maybe a $10 league. We can ask people if you want to get in on that. We can throw some cash on
some high stake. $8.
Some high stake $8.
$9. Ooh,
yes.
I've built
too much. I'm sorry.
Hey Josh, can I borrow a couple bucks?
I'm gonna come down. Yeah, I got you.
Yes,
I'm the rich guy here.
About $1 to do a 9-man league or a $9 league. Mr. Scamper said, so much fun, guys. Got to go put my head in the freezer. And Dane said, gross. My team makes me need a drink. I'm so glad you guys
all need a drink, maybe.
Dane, Mr. Scampers, Jordan. Sounds like you guys all had a really great time based on your comments after this. So thanks for coming in and drafting with us. We'll be back next week for the next crisis management session. Sunday night mock draft stream. But every Sunday we are here at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So set it on your calendars. We'll be back next week. And like I said, we're talking about putting some dollars on it, but we're also going to mix up these league sizes throughout the rest of the weeks coming up to the season. We might do some 3-man. We might do some 6-man. Get back up and do a couple 12-man.
I can't wait till a 3-man.
Oh my God, we're going to be so nuts. We got to put money or something on the line for that.
Oh, we have to.
You might as well make it an 8-hour clock, just because actually it kind of makes sense. Like, kind of like
just set it up as a slow draft for a 3-person league.
Kind of makes sense.
Yeah, it might work.
Yeah, and we'll just have a 48-hour stream.
Very slow.
Yeah. Let's just go for it, guys.
Making money with JJ. Yeah, let's steal JJ's money.
Yeah, let's take JJ's money. And then let's like distract him the entire time. Like right before his pick, ask him questions that we know are going to like piss him off. Like just say horrible things, undata backed up arguments, pure narrative based arguments that we pitch his
early
way.
Round QB.
Ignore the data.
Early round QB. First round QB.
First round QB strategy.
First round QB. Guys, that is going to be it for us this afternoon. A couple reminders. Ask about first round QBs. Yeah, we got it, Jordan. We're on top of it. Great minds think alike. Guys, that is going to be it for us this evening. Thank you, everyone who joined along and drafted with us. We had a lot of fun. Hopefully, you had some fun too. Go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to this channel, FanDuel, if you enjoyed what we were doing right here today. And then go find them on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, at FanDuel, across all of those platforms. Anything else, guys, before we jump on this Sunday night?
Trading makes fantasy fun.
Trading does make fantasy fun.
Except in best ball leagues, but it's still a lot of fun, guys. It's still a lot of fun. It's still a lot of fun.
Drafting makes fantasy fun.
Drafting does make fantasy fun.
Yeah.
Guys, we are out of here. We'll be back next week. Until then, adios, everybody.
Bye-bye. Yeah. Jordan says, tell him about your Darnell Mooney rank.
Yeah, I'll piss him right off.
You might be high.
Oops, and